what it is, what's happening YouTube? It's your boy Srtfied, and I'm back with another banger for you guys. Y'all already know what's up. If you're not a subscriber to this channel yet, what I always tell you guys, go and smash that subscribe button. You know why? Because it don't cost me nothing, don't cost you nothing. Just click that red button for me. And if this is your first time on this channel, welcome to Srtfied Official. So as you guys saw in the thumbnail, I actually got my taillights tinted for my wildling, and I'm sorry I did not get any removal of the actual taillight, but when I actually install them, I'm going to show you guys how to install them. If you guys are interested in doing this yourself, the removal process is literally going to be in reverse of how I install the taillights, and same type of tools and everything that you will need. I will give you guys some tips and tricks as I install it, just so if you guys need to remove it, you will know how to do so. But as far as the tint, the reason why I decided to do a permanent solution by using paint is because I tried to do the vinyl option. I tried to use like some tint material. I actually took it to the shop and they couldn't do it. They just could not do it, just because the edges of the actual tail light, it's going to involve a little bit too much stretch in order to get it done. Now it's doable, but it won't last. So the other option was to go online and get some vinyl, because I think Srtfied, I can't remember, don't quote me on that, but I know there's a couple of websites that offer the actual vinyl pieces that you can put on the outside and then on the side to cover up the side markers. And yeah, they look all right, but for me it just doesn't give it full coverage, and it doesn't look as clean as I would want it to be. The other option was to get covers, and I seen one Bronco with the taillight covers, and to me, I just don't like how they look. It's obvious that it's a cover. It just doesn't look as clean, and then you can tell that there are spaces because the covers aren't completely, you know, cut to size. So it just doesn't cut it for me. To some other people it may, but for me, I just want a clean look. So let me show you guys the taillights. So first and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to Nice Tints for getting these done for me. These came out perfect. They came out actually way better than I expected. I know I've done previous tail lights with a spray tint, what I think the brand is called Nightshade, and it did not come out looking like this. Like, these things truly came out amazing, and they did everything on the sides. I don't know exactly how they did it, but I'm pretty sure they sanded it, and then they used some kind of black paint or smoke paint, and then they ended up going over it with automotive clear coat. But they did the entire tail light. It looks really good. So as far as the vinyl option that I was talking about that you can find online, it literally just covers this front piece right here, and it goes around, and then you have the side where you see you can't really see it right now because it is smoked, but there is a side marker right here that they have a vinyl strip that goes over that, and that doesn't cut it for me. The actual way I wanted to tint them, these areas right here, in order to get the full coverage on those corners, these are the areas where they said it was going to be a lot of stretch, and it's probably going to fail over time, if not within a couple of days once you get it done. So this is the reason why I decided to actually get them painted. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. But I'm about to get these things installed, and then I'll show you guys how they look on the vehicle. So one of the big things that I recommend doing before actually installing your taillights is to clean off some of that stuff behind the taillights. Use a quick detailing rag and just kind of clean up everything inside to make it look pretty. This is a good opportunity to do so. This is something that I recommend. You don't have to, but let's clean this thing up. So for the installation of these taillights, if for whatever reason you forget which side is which, if you look on the back, there's a barcode right here. On the top of this barcode, it actually tells you whether it's the left-hand side or right-hand side. If this barcode isn't legible, a big indicator would be this tab right here. This tab is going to be on the outside on the bottom. If you were to flip it, it will be up top, so just make sure it's on the bottom. But when you're installing this, the first thing you want to do is connect this connector on the inside of this light right here. It's real simple. It just slides in. If you were to remove it, you just press the tab to pull it out. It's real easy. This little pin right here, there's a slot in here that this pin goes in. So once you line everything up, you just push it right in. Once you push the pin in, as you can see, the light kind of holds itself up, but there are a total of 2 8mm bolts and 1 10mm that's on the outside of this that need to be installed. The 10mm on the outside is the longer one, so when you take these off, you can see one is longer, the other ones are shorter. The 2 shorter ones, which are the 8mm ones, go on the inside of these, and the 10mm goes right here on the outside. It's the top one that you see on the outside. I don't know the actual torque values of these bolts, but good and snug is good enough. Don't over tighten them because the tabs on this light are plastic and you don't end up want to break those tabs. And just for reference, the 2 8mm bolts I was talking about are these 2 right here. Again, this is the connector right here, and this is the little tab I was talking about that you would have to press if you were to remove it, but you just literally slide it in. And the 10mm bolt that I'm talking about on the side is the top one right here. You don't have to mess with that bottom one. The opposite side is literally the exact same. The access point obviously is a little more challenging just because you have the door, but you can get in it with an extension, the 2 bolts, the top one and the bottom one, the connector, and then on the outside, this top one. Next, you have this trim piece that goes on the inside of this taillight assembly. There are 3 plastic clips right here that need to go right inside of these holes that are attached to your tail light. So you see these 3 holes, and make sure you line these up. There are 2 smaller ones on the top and bottom that these longer plastic pins go into, and then you have a 10mm bolt that goes on the outside, which secures it to the actual frame of the vehicle. And just to show you guys, once it's pushed in, this is how it should look. The 10mm bolt I was talking about on the bottom is the one right there. You can barely see it, but it's right there. So if you're removing this, remove this 10mm bolt, and I will get a plastic pry tool and get right in between this little gap and then pull away. Then for this bottom piece right here, which goes right in this area, this is real simple. There are literally only 2 clips right here, and it snaps in with these little slots right here on the outside, which has 3 clips in here as well. So you literally put it in on this way and then you snap it around. It. So if you're removing this, I would suggest a panel pry tool. You go in between there, you pull back those 2 tabs. Don't peel it all the way out because you can risk bending the tabs that are in there, but just give you enough room to where you can grab right behind here and kind of give you some tension to be able to pull them out. The other side is completely identical to the left side. The only issue is with the tailgate being in the way, you cannot have it open in order to put this thing in. You can risk scratching your paint and you don't want to do that. So make sure you close your tailgate and then push those clips in. In order to remove them, I suggest a panel trim tool that has like a lip to where you can get in here and be able to pull those back. You can also access them from the inside. When the tailgate is open, you can actually slide in here. If you don't have a lipped panel trim removal tool, if you just have a straight edge, just get in here and push it back. And then there's that 10mm bolt I was talking about. And then after that, it's literally the same as the other side. There's 2 clips with your clips on the outside. Again, I will slide the clips in right here on the top. You can see the tabs right here that they slide into. Make sure it's between these tabs and that. Do not slide it on the outside of that. Make sure it's in between. you snap it in and then loop it around like the other side. And the last step is to actually install this little trim that covers up all that wiring right there and provides some kind of weather protection against everything inside. So there are 2 pins right here. They're literally just slide pins, they're not pop pins, but they install in these little holes right there. As you can see, those 2 right there. Once you put those in, as you see right here, there's 1 and 2. There are 2 10mm bolts that you have to install in those locations right here to secure it. And then you have, in the rest of the holes, you have these little annoying push pins that have the Phillips heads on them. This is what it looks like once it's all installed. So again, if you're trying to remove this, these are the 2 10mm bolts that you have to remove, and then there are a total of 4 of those clips that have the little Phillips head. What I generally do is I get one of these little pieces right there, because as you guys just saw in the last clip, I was struggling trying to get one of the screws out because I had to essentially force it out. But you can literally go underneath here and then just pop it out. You technically don't have to remove this little screw right there, but you risk breaking them, but they're easy to find in AutoZone. But anyways, you have 4 of them right there, and then 1 on the bottom. The other side is very simple. Don't let this little tailgate area right here make you nervous or anything like that. You just have to work around it. It's plastic. Well, this is technically rubber right here, and you can actually maneuver it. So same thing on this side. You have 2 10mm bolts, and then you have those 4 clips right here that you have to remove, and that's it. And last but not least, you need to install your rear fender flares. You do need to remove them. The reason why is because you cannot remove this little piece right here if you still have the fender flare attached. So you definitely need to remove the fender flare in order to gain access to the rest. So in order to remove the fender flares, it's real simple. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen plenty of videos on this, but if this is your first time seeing this, there are these little clips under here that you can reach under, and you literally pop them down, and then you give it a good jerk and it comes right out. If you forget to know which side is which when you're trying to install it on the actual fender flare itself, I'm not sure if you can see it right here, you can see that they labeled them. And just to give you a close-up, these are the pins that I was talking about that you need to reinstall. They need to be out like this in order to put it in, and then once you have it in, you literally just flip them down like that, and that's it. And this is how they look once everything is back installed. One thing that I forgot to mention, and actually forgot to do myself, before you actually put on all the rest of these panels, once you actually slide the taillight in and connect the connector, make sure you take your key and just hit the unlock button and make sure that everything works as advertised. But these came out really dope. And that's gonna wrap it up for today's video, y'all. Again, big shout out to Nice Tints, as they did an amazing job on these taillights. These things are phenomenal. They are absolutely flawless. So Again, big shout out to y'all. But if you guys have any questions or concerns, make sure to hit me in the comments below. But other than that, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Srtfied_official. That being said, hashtag salute and certified drip on all your pictures and videos to show love and support to the channel. And until next time, YouTube, I hope y'all have a good day.